Hi everybody and welcome to this new lesson. In today's lesson, I'm going to teach you about formal greetings and introductions. The first thing we're going to start with is a small dialogue, as you can see here, and then we're going to move to some expressions that you can use in formal contexts in order to greet people. So the conversation we have here is between three people, two students and a professor. So as you can see here in this situation, we must use some expressions that are a little bit formal and not the ones we usually use with our friends or family members. So let's read this dialogue and see. Good morning, Professor. How are you? Good morning, John. I'm doing well. And you? I'm great, thank you. This is my friend Emma. She is a new student at this college. Hello, Emma. It's a pleasure to meet you. I am more than happy to answer any inquiries you have about studying here. It's a pleasure to meet you, Professor. Thank you for offering to help me. You are welcome. So as you can see here, the expressions used are a little bit formal and respectful and polite, and that's what we're going to try and learn today in this lesson. It's really and totally different from what you usually say to people that you know or like family members and friends. But when you're talking to somebody in a formal context, your teacher, your boss, somebody that you respect, somebody that you don't know, somebody that you met for the first time, it's advisable to be formal and to use expressions accordingly. So let's move here and look at some of the expressions we can use for formal greetings and then formal responses. So when somebody greets you or when you greet somebody, and then you have to respond to that, of course. And then we're going to look at some expressions to introduce other people, all right? And then we're going to talk about formal closings. When you finish the conversation and you want to close it, what should you say? So without further ado, we're going to look at some expressions here, and they are very simple and you probably know them already. So in the morning, of course, you could say to people, good morning, as we saw here. Good morning, Professor. Good morning, Mr. something, okay, their name. Or good afternoon, okay, if it's the afternoon. Or good evening, after 6, of course. And then we have another expression. This one here is misused sometimes as a question, but it simply means hello, but in a formal way. So when you say to someone, how do you do? Or when someone asks you, how do you do? They are just saying hello using this expression. So it's just a formal way of saying hello. It's not actually asking about how you are. So you should not actually answer it by saying how you are or how you're doing. You just have to answer it accordingly in what we're going to see here in the next section. Or you could greet people by saying good morning, then how are you? Asking about them, actually asking. So this one here is different because you're actually asking about the people that you're talking with. So the formal responses to these questions are the following. If somebody says good morning, then the proper answer is good morning, right? So good morning, John. Good morning, James. Or if they say good afternoon, you have to answer by saying good afternoon. And it's the same for good evening. The formal response is good evening. And then if they say how do you do, then you should say how do you do. You have to repeat it, not add anything to it like I'm fine or I'm doing well or I'm not fine. They are not asking about your well-being or your status. They're just asking, or they're just saying hello. And then if they ask or say how are you, then in this case you should say very well, thank you. Or maybe if they are asking you, or if you are asking them, they're going to say this. And then if they say and you respond by saying I'm fine as well, or I'm fine too, thank you. Okay, so say that you have somebody with you that you want to introduce to those people that you have just met. You could use these expressions. The first one, or the most, like the simplest one, is this is. So after greeting the people and responding to that, you have to use this expression to introduce the person that you're with. And you could say, this is my friend John, or this is my classmate James, or this is my colleague Tom, okay? Or maybe you could say, let me introduce you to, and then you mention the name of the person that you're trying to introduce. Let me introduce you to my friend John, or let me introduce you to my colleague James, or let me introduce you to my brother Alex. And then the third one we have here is, I don't believe you know. If you are sure that the person you're talking to does not know the person that you're with, you could use this one, I don't believe you know. It's an indirect way of introducing the person you're with. I don't believe you know my brother John. I don't believe you know my friend James. I don't believe you know my colleague Tom. And then the fourth one is, you've already met. This expression should be used when you are sure that the person you're talking to or with already knows or have already met the person that you're with, all right? So if you have this information, you could use this expression. You could say, you've already met my brother John. And then if they have already met them, they would say, oh yes, how do you do? Or yes, how are you, John? I mean, they will address the person that you're with, not you, of course. Okay? And then let's say that you have finished talking about whatever you started the conversation for, let's say business or studies or like inquiries or anything. You want to close the conversation formally. You shouldn't say good, let's say take care or see you soon or anything of that sort, but you should say something like, it has been a pleasure. It has been a pleasure. It means that you have enjoyed the conversation and that it's time to end it. It has been a pleasure. Goodbye. Okay, and that comes with a shake of hand, of course, as in good morning. So sometimes we shake hands. And also you could say thank you for your time, and then goodbye. Or you could say pleased to meet you. It means that you are happy, that you are pleased to have met the person you've just talked to for any reason or for whatever reason you've talked to them. Okay, so these are a couple of expressions that you could use in any formal situation with any people. Say that you have any business relation or any kind of formal relationship with those people. You could use these expressions for that purpose of greeting them, responding to them, introducing other people to them, or formally closing the conversation with them. Don't forget to like, share this video, and subscribe to my channel, and see you in the next video. Bye.